how's it going? So I had somebody leave a comment on the last video that I made about if I could make a video about the law of attraction and how I found it, and what else did she say? Let me see if I can find it. So it was Road to Raw. Hey girl. She said, "Hey Hannah, I'm wondering if you could be willing to do a video on the law of attraction, how you found it, what you've read, and what your results are from it. I've become very interested in it and would love to hear your personal experience." So, okay, I'll try and start from the beginning. I found the law of attraction, or the law of attraction found me like 7 years ago when I first started my job that I have now. And my boss at the time had everyone come in to the office one day, and he made us watch this movie. And it was The Secret, the movie The Secret. And everyone in my office is like, after they're like, why did he make us watch that? That's so weird. And there was me and one other girl that I work with, and we were just like completely freaking mind blown by this movie. And I was so, like, it took me so much differently than anyone else like conceived it. And I just like really got into it. But at the time, there wasn't a ton of stuff. I mean, there was a lot of books out about it, but I didn't know about them. So what I had done was I bought the movie The Secret and I watched it like 100 times. And then that led me to finding a bunch of old books about the law of attraction, like oh man, I have so many, I can't even name them. But I have like The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. I have a lot of Neville Goddard books. I have a lot of, I can't even think of them right now. But I have so many. I probably have 40, 50 books on the law of attraction. And maybe I will list some of them in the description box, like the ones that I think are the most helpful. But so for like the first year, I probably just used what I got from that movie, and that was, you know, to think positive thoughts and to not think negatively, and be grateful for like what you have and things like that. And I don't think that I practiced it, you know, hardcore or anything. I didn't actually start practicing the law of attraction really hardcore until not last year, but the year before. So, like, it just seems like my life always leads me back to the law of attraction. No matter, like, how far I get away from it, I'm always led back to it in some way. And things happen in my life where I get strayed from it. But I've done so many things with the law of attraction that I'm 100% sure that the law of attraction works. I have no doubt about it at all. Because there's just so much stuff that's happened in my life. Like when I watched that movie the first time, I was 21, 22 when I found The Secret, the movie. And at the time, I was living with my parents and I was really depressed. And I remember telling my dad, I need to like go get a dog or something because I'm literally going to dig my own grave. I was so depressed. And it was about nothing. It was just about me comparing myself to other people. And I had just dropped out of college. I had just broken up with my boyfriend of 4 or 5 years. And like, it just seemed like everything in my life was going wrong. I was trying to buy a house. I couldn't, for some reason, like ever find one that was good enough. Or I would put offers in and they wouldn't get accepted for the ones that I wanted. And like, it was just this whole deal. So I watched the movie, then I bought the movie, and I watched it another 1,000 times. I like visualized my dad letting me get a dog because I still lived with them, and he's so against dogs. So I visualized myself getting a dog, and you know, like just me playing with him, being happy, my parents loving him. I visualized like all this stuff, and one day my dad was like, "Fine, go get a dog." So then I went and I got Bubba. And that was like summertime 2008? Yeah. 2000, yeah. And then when that happened, I was literally like, oh my God, this like totally works. So then I started thinking, okay, well, if I can manifest a dog, I can manifest a house. So anyway, I visualized myself with Bubba in a house that was in the woods and that was really inexpensive and that I would be able to close on right away. Then I was looking online. I found this house, and I had always thought, like, oh, I wouldn't want a townhouse. I don't want a townhouse at all because I want a place where Bubba can run around and do all this stuff. So I came and I looked at this townhouse that I live in now, and I was like, this is perfect. It's everything that I wanted, except for it's not a house. It's a townhouse. But it's right in the woods. Like, I have regional parks all around me. Or it's this big regional park. It's right by the biggest river in the United States of America. It's all wooded. No one's back in the woods. I can just, like, let Bubba run around. So I fell in love with it. And I ended up buying it. It was $73,000. It's nothing. And yeah, I'm just so glad that I did. So I manifested a house. Then I can't really remember what happened after that, but I remember, like, I forgot about the law of attraction for a couple years. And then somehow I got led back to it. I met this guy who was like a millionaire, and he was talking about it a lot. He had, like, he was ridiculously rich. Like, it wasn't even funny. And he was talking about it a lot, and I'm like, I used to do that. Like, I really used to practice that a lot, and I remember it really working for me. So I got back into it, and I bought, like, every single book that was ever written on it. Rhonda Byrne had finally written The Secret, the book, which is way better than the movie because it explains so much more. Sorry, Dewey's, like, eating my hand right now. And then she wrote the book, The Power, which is my favorite book in the entire world. I read it every single morning. It is, like, the best book I personally think that you could read on the law of attraction because it explains why it works. And it's not just, you know, think positive thoughts and, you know, ignore negative things and focus on positivity and, like, all this, visualize the things that you want. All this stuff's gonna, like, manifest in your life because that's not how it works. But if you read the book, The Power, it really talks about why things happen in our lives. And it focuses on love a lot and talking about love and all that stuff. So anyway, 2 summers ago, I was working my job. I was in service sales. So basically, I drove, like, a van around every day. And I had 200 and some accounts that I would service. And I, like, wore a uniform to work every day and all this stuff. And I really loved my job. And I didn't ever think that I would want to do anything else. But I had this, you know, vision to make more money and to drive a nice car. Like, I really wanted a Mercedes. And I really just wanted, like, all this stuff and all this money so that I could, oh my gosh, Dewey, all this money so that I could just do whatever I wanted to do, and not have to worry about it at all. And so I visualized myself doing this, and then one day my boss came up to me and he's like, hey, I was also, like, one of the best service reps in the entire country. So I was really, really good at my job, and I was the one that had been there the longest. I trained everyone in. I was, like, the teacher. So he came up to me one day, and he was like, would you want to be the account executive for our branch? And I was like, not really. I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't really know what that entails because I just wasn't familiar with it. So he started explaining it to me, and I realized, like, this is exactly what I've been visualizing. Days later, my boss came up to me again. He's like, hey, there's this guy from corporate. He's coming in to interview you. And I was like, for what? He's like, for the account executive position. And I was just like, okay. So it was, like, no pressure. I didn't really care. And I was putting out that vibe that I didn't really care. But once I met this guy from corporate and he, like, explained to me the job and everything, then I really, really wanted it. And I actually ended up not getting the job. So I was devastated after I didn't get it. And then I like really, really wanted it. So I started visualizing myself doing this job. And then I was like, that's not even good enough. Like I can't just lay in bed and visualize myself doing it. So every day at work that I went in, I literally just acted as if I was the account executive every single day and did what I wanted to do, and it didn't matter like what was going on around me. I just pretended that I was the account executive, and I was super smart. I knew everything about everything, and I was doing extremely well at my job when I did that. So then I think it was like a week or two into that, I got an email from the guy that flew out from corporate that interviewed me, and he's like, hey, I'm coming back to Minneapolis. I'm going to give you one more shot at this job. I really think that we need an account executive in Minneapolis, and I would love for you to be the account executive, but I need you to show me that you really want it, because the first time that I had applied for the job, I just didn't care. Like, I just didn't really want it. I was just like, oh, I didn't even apply for this. This guy's just coming out to interview me. So then it was just like, fuck, right? Like, this is what I wanted, and it's like coming to me. And so I did everything I could. I studied everything I could. I practiced interviewing. I visualized the interview going well. I visualized him giving me the job, and I ended up getting the job. And it was just like crazy, right? So then I had always wanted like a C300 Mercedes for some reason. I don't know why. And I was like, I'm never going to be able to get that because it's so much money. But once I got my job, they pay for my car. So I went and got the car that I wanted. And when I like had visualized myself with this car, because I did all that stuff too, every time I would see the car that I wanted, I would be like, oh my gosh, there's my car. Like, I love that car. I love my car. And I would just like think, like, it's literally like pretending all the time. Like, you're a kid and you're make-believing that this is really what your reality is, even if it's not true. And then it just comes true, honestly. So that's like the biggest secret to the law of attraction. And it's kind of, it sounds crazy because it's like what people in mental institutions do. You know, they think that they're in this alternate reality and they're really not. But this is kind of different. I mean, you obviously have a grip of what's going on around you and your life. But instead of looking at, you know, a Mercedes driving down the road and seeing the girl that's in it and being like, oh, that spoiled girl, she like probably just dates some super rich guy and like she probably doesn't even have a job, and like judging that person and like feeling jealous or envious because they have that car, you're like, oh my gosh, I love that car. That's my car, you know, and like getting excited when you see it. So this is what I'm trying to like tell people through my channel is like, if you see someone walking down the street and they have like the perfect body, like don't be jealous of them. You should be like excited, because that is the universe showing you what you can have in your life. And if you feel negative feelings towards that or towards another person that has something that you want, you're only pushing it away from yourself. So like if you see someone that's really healthy or really fit or really skinny or has the body or the hair or whatever that you want, be really excited for them and just be like, oh, they're so beautiful. I love that person. And like just think that way, because I know especially like in society, a lot of girls we're kind of taught through movies and TV and stuff like that to like hate the really pretty, perfect girl and, you know, talk about her behind her back and something must be wrong with her and she's just like too great. And like we're taught to have negative feelings about people that have the things that we want, because it's like keeping up with the Joneses. You know, you want your grass to be greener than the person next to you, but you should be as excited as someone is for everything that they have that you want. If someone at your work gets a promotion, you should be really, really excited for them. Like if someone that you know gets into a beautiful, loving relationship, you shouldn't feel like, oh man, like I'm so lonely, I wish that I could be with somebody. You should be like excited for them and just feel the feeling of how it would feel if you were in a relationship like that. And yeah, I will list below some of the books that I have that I think are really helpful, but that's kind of my story of how I got into the law of attraction. I haven't been perfect with it. When I first was introduced to it, I, did a lot with it. I did what I could, but I obviously didn't understand it the way that I do now. But it's been years of me reading about it, studying it, practicing it, and really just trying to get a better understanding of how it works and how I can apply it into my life to get the things that I want and to create the life and the person that I want to be. And that's really what it's all about. Like every day, the universe is really just showing us things that we can have. And you want to feel good, positive, loving feelings towards the things that you want because that's bringing it to you. So, I don't know. I hope that this helps you guys. I just wanted to share my story on how I got into the law of attraction and all of that. But I have to go now because I have to go meet my friends. But I will see you guys very soon. Leave your comments below in the box below. And if you have any questions, I can answer them in another video. I'm obviously going to be talking about the law of attraction and loving yourself and, more spiritually, metaphysical type things on my channel just because I'm really into it and I really do think that it is so helpful, especially on a health journey or just anything that you want to accomplish in your life. It's so helpful to at least have a basic understanding of how it works so that you're not hurting yourself and that you're not pushing away people and things that you love. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you very soon and have a great day and I love you. Goodbye.